Okay, good morning, friends. Let us look at one more concept in membership chapter, company law. So, we have understood, we are in membership of a company chapter, and we have understood different concepts related to member of a company. We have understood the difference between member and then shareholder of the company, and also, we have discussed with regard to who can become the member. But today's class we will understand modes or methods of acquiring membership. ಅಂದರೆ ಹೇಗೆ ಒಬ್ಬ ಕಂಪನಿಯ ಮೆಂಬರ್ಶಿಪ್ ಅನ್ನು ಪಡೆಯಬಹುದು, ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಒಬ್ಬ ಕಂಪನಿಯ ಮೆಂಬರ್ ಆಗಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನು ನಾವು ತಿಳಿಯುವ. ಸೊ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಒನ್, ಬೈ ಸಬ್ಸ್ಕ್ರೈಬಿಂಗ್ ಟು ದ ಮೆಮೊರಾಂಡಮ್ ಆಫ್ ಅಸೋಸಿಯೇಷನ್. ಸೊ ನಿಮ್ಗೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಗೊತ್ತುಂಟು, ಕಂಪನಿಯ ಎವ್ರಿ ಕಂಪನಿ ದೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ಅ ಡಾಕ್ಯುಮೆಂಟ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ memorandum of association, which is the first document prepared by the company with the various details related to the company. So in this particular memorandum of association there requires a subscriber ಅಥವಾ ಕೆಲವು ಇನಿಷಿಯಲ್ ಮೆಂಬರ್ಸ್ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ, ಅವರು ಮೆಮೊರಾಂಡಮ್ ಆಫ್ ಅಸೋಸಿಯೇಷನ್ಗೆ ಸೈನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗ್ತದೆ. ಅಫ್ಕೋರ್ಸ್ ಇವರನ್ನು ನಾವು ಮೆಂಬರ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೇವೆ. when a person becomes subscriber to the memorandum of association, or one who signs the memorandum of association, automatically becomes the member in the company from the date of its incorporation. Okay, so company start aguvaga they become the members of the company. Okay, so adannu registration ella ಮಾಡಬೇಕು members, idannu memorandum of association alla adella nimge gottide already. Second is by agreeing to purchase the qualification shares, or by agreeing become the first director of the company. ನಿಮಗೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ನೀವು ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾದದ್ದು ಇನ್ನು ಮೆಂಬರ್ಶಿಪ್ ಆಫ್ ಅ ಕಂಪನಿ, ದಟ್ ಎ ಪರ್ಸನ್ ಹೂ ಇಸ್ ಅಪಾಯಿಂಟೆಡ್ ದ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟರ್ ಆಫ್ ಅ ಪಬ್ಲಿಕ್ ಕಂಪನಿ ಇನ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ಟಿಕಲ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಅಸೋಸಿಯೇಷನ್, that is the first director becomes the member of the company. ಅಂದರೆ ಒಬ್ಬ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟರ್ ಆಗಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಅವನಿಗೆ ಕ್ವಾಲಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್ ಶೇರ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಉಂಟು, ಆ ಶೇರ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ತೆಗೆದುಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ವೆನ್ ಈ ಪರ್ಚೇಸಸ್ ದೋಸ್ ಶೇರ್ಸ್ ಈ ಬಿಕಮ್ಸ್ ದ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟರ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಕಂಪನಿ. ಸೊ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟರ್ ಆಗಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಅವರು ಅದನ್ನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ಆಟೋಮ್ಯಾಟಿಕಲಿ ವೆನ್ person agreeing to buy the qualification shares to become the first director of the company, ಅಥವಾ ಯಾರು ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟರ್ ಆಗದ ರೆಡಿ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಸೊ ಅವರು ಆಟೋಮ್ಯಾಟಿಕಲಿ becomes the member in the company. Third is by application and allotment. The most famous way of, or most common way of becoming the member in a company is by application and allotment. So when a company is going for listing, or when a public company list its company in the stock exchange, and or when they open for IPO, initial public offer, they accept application from the people, or they give an advertisement or prospectus is sent for giving applications. Similarly, the applications are given by the applicants, those who are interested in the shares, and then they apply. Based on that application, company will allot shares to the members. So when shares are allotted to the member or a person, he becomes the shareholder of the company. So shareholder, once his name is entered in the index of members, or register of members, not index of members, register of members, automatically becomes the member in the company. And the fourth one is transfer of shares. All of us understood the concept of transfer and transmission of shares, where when person agrees to transfer his shares to another person, that the new transferee becomes the member in the company when his name is entered in the register of members. So when his name is entered in the register of members, he becomes the member in the company. But you need to understand that once register of members name is not entered in the register of members, the old transferor, the one who transferred shares, is only the member in the company. Next is by succession. By succession is nothing but a transmission. Now all of us know what is transmission. Transmission is the ownership of the shares is transferred to the legal representative of the shareholder in case of insolvency, lunacy, or death. of a shareholder. So in this case, his legal representative become the member of the company. So legal representative, all of you know, is the nominee in that particular case, etc. So through the conversion of share warrants into share certificate, the share warrant, a holder of a share warrant, so the person who holds the share warrant may convert his share warrant into certificate, and if the company is authorized to convert the share warrant into certificate as per the articles of association, then that the person who converted share warrant into uh, share certificate becomes the member of the company. So you need to understand that the share warrant is a document which can be easily transferable, correct? So it's a bearer document which is easily transferable, and in that name and all that is details are not mentioned, the number of shares mentioned. So in this case, the holder of transfer share warrant is not the member of the company, but when warrant is converted into share certificate, he becomes the member in the company. And by obtaining allotment shares for consideration other than cash. So in many of the cases you may be knowing with regard to uh, gift or something like that, shares are given. So in that case, so the person who accepts that becomes the owner of the company. So in many cases of employee sometimes given shares by the company, so not for cash, like. So or similarly, when sometimes shares, machinery is purchased, stock is purchased, shares may be given to them. In that case also, the person who is offered shares, his name will be entered in the register of members, and he can become the member in the company through the order of the court. Sometimes through the order of the court also one can become the member in the company. So we can say by the order of the court. So order may be passed by the court with regard to the membership of the company. Legal issues, we say, sometimes through legal issues also, when court orders he should become the member of the company, he can become the member in the company through the renunciation of allotment. Now all of us know sometimes right shares are issued by the company, and then but the existing gift shareholder have an option to buy or renounce them in favor of some other person. So right shares are additional shares given to the existing shareholder. Now that existing shareholder doesn't want to have that shares, he can give that shares to another person, so renounce that shares. In that case also, that person for whose name the shares are transferred becomes the owner of member in the company. Then by conversion of debentures into shares, now this is a major this thing in the many of the public companies. So when companies having huge amount of debentures and companies prospectus is good, sometimes debenture holders may convert their debentures into stock. So if it is permitted for debenture holders to convert their debentures into stocks, that is if it is a convertible debenture, then their names are deleted from register of debenture holders, and then their name will be entered in the register of members, and that time they become the member of the company. So all of us must be knowing about debenture and shares difference. Debenture is a loan document where loan type of loan is given to the company on various cases, but when that loan becomes, so loan holder is a debenture holder is a creditor actually, but when the company's prospectus is good, company is going on very well, he may see that there is good prospectus, that time that debenture, convertible debentures may be, or debentures may be converted into shares. Okay, so he becomes the shareholder, and then his name will be entered in the register of members, and then he becomes the owner of the, or a member in the company. The last one, by acquiescence or estoppel. So when a member knowingly allows his name to remain in the register of members even after he has disposed of his shares, then others believe that he is a member, can becomes a responsible for liabilities of the membership also. That is, when he has sold the shares, and he knows that he has sold the shares Now at that case, actually he is not the owner of the company. But suppose name by mistake is entered, and then he becomes the member. Actually he is not the actual member because shares are not there, but his name is not deleted, and he also doesn't want to delete that name. Then he becomes the liable for the members in membership of the company, or uh, he becomes the member in the company even though he doesn't have shares or something like that. So that is called as acquiescence or estoppel. So in all these methods, membership can be obtained of the company. So this is on modes of acquiring membership. Thank you very much.